I'm not a fan of people trying to police music. I'm not a fan of people trying to police art in general. Nani? Dynamite! Hey guys, how you doing? My name's Hero, the host of the Identity Booth. Now I'm about to talk about your Lord and Savior, Beyonce. And I want you to understand a few things before you even start typing in my comment section. One, I like Beyonce. I don't love her, I like her. I have my reasons. And that's something that I like to call an opinion. Now, when I say I like Beyonce as an overall person. As a person who has physically bumped into your Lord and Savior, I can attest that she is real. And you know what? For the most part, I like her. On a scale of 1 to 10 of things that I also like donuts. I also like, maybe freedom of speech and all those good things. So Beyonce, when I say like, ranks really high up there. But don't take what I'm about to say as a personal attack on her, you, or whatever your feelings might be. I do not care enough about any of that nonsense. I'm just here to tell a story. You're just here to hear the story. Now, with all that out of the way, sit back, relax, and let's talk about Beyonce. Man, fuck Beyonce. I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. No. But seriously, I'm actually on Beyonce's. I kind of have a feeling about this. So let's talk about this. So if you don't know, basically Beyonce confirms she will remove, what's this in a way? Lyrics from her new album Renaissance, following criticisms that it's ableist and deeply offensive. All right. So I'm going to give the TLDR here. Oh, cool. They have it right here. Beyonce said she has changed the lyrics in her song Heated from her new album Renaissance. So in that situation, basically there was a word that was being used, and I'm going to say the word here now, but understand it's just to give context. The word is spaz. And the reason why this word is considered offensive is because people who have disabilities or nervous niches or quirks that make them have tics and stuff like that are often called that in a derogatory word. As time has gone on, it's changed in mode, but ultimately that group of people still feels responsible to it. Now, coming from a demographic of people who also have words that are thrown at them that used to have power over them, I have to feel for the group, the low man down here, which will be the group that is being called a derogatory term. In addition, as a person, as an ally who knows the gripe of being called the N-word, I have to empathize with them. I have to give them the benefit of the doubt that this isn't some warped attempt to garner fake sympathy. No, it's not that. That word would have been heard by billions of people, millions of people, and eventually would have probably led to a situation where people freely use the word and not know it. I would be a little bit more pushy, shovey about this if it didn't have a result in the past, which was with Lizzo having the same issue and changing it as well. And I just feel like someone on Beyonce's team should have just did, hey, can we do a Google search for all the words that were considered offensive in the last 3 years? And maybe, not make sure those words aren't found in the script, right? So that's just the thing, right? I feel like someone should be hired to do that. Beyonce, I'm available. Please, I'll send over my resume. Just let me know if you need someone to, just simply do a complete audit on your music track list just to make sure shit is official. You feel me? A representative of Beyonce from Insider words not used intentionally to cause harm. But this has kind of sparked an outrage that maybe people are too sensitive. And when people say you're too sensitive, I usually feel like they're saying that from a position of privilege. Now, do I care about the word being used? No, I don't, because the word doesn't directly affect me or describe me. But I dare somebody use the N-word out of turn in front of me and see if they won't get their front teeth smacked in right. So I can only speak to my traumas, right? But I have the ability to empathize with them and understand everything. The part where this gets a little crazy, there's another verse where Beyonce makes reference to Khalees, the girl that the woman that made the My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to Yard, and that led people to believe that this was a collaboration. But in reality, when Khalees got on social media, she described it as theft. So I'm assuming like she sampled Khalees, and a sample can be seen as a way of paying homage, and some people view it as theft. When you're in the industry, you get to act differently. But I'd be damned. And this is something that's crazy again. There's no one on Beyonce's team. Maybe Beyonce feels because she's Beyonce, she doesn't have to answer to people. Like, you should be grateful that I'm even bringing you into the conversation. But that's not the attitude she projects as a woman who advocates for feminists and people's rights. So for her, once again, not to have someone on her team that could simply just do a Google search and say, hey, this is a list of every artist we sampled before we put this track out. Should we go and ask these people their opinions? Should we go and ask these people if it's okay? Should we get them to sign something, just in the event that it pops back up for us? The fact that there's no one on her team to do that makes me say, hey, I'll do that. I'm not even that expensive. You could literally pay me my current salary. Well, that's kind of expensive. But I know you're paying people on your team way more. So I'd do that for you. But finally, the third and actually the most annoying version of this was when Monica Lewinsky, the girl who I keep saying girl, the woman who was sexually assaulted and was she sexually assaulted? She wasn't technically sexually assaulted. I don't know if you could technically be sexually assaulted. I'm deep diving this. This is not a good look. So she agreed to it, but she didn't agree to the fame, the infamy that it brought her eventually. So once again, to reiterate, Monica Lewinsky was a woman who had Bill Clinton take advantage of her and used her for sexual purposes, and basically ruined a perfectly fine dress. And Bill is still with Hillary Clinton, and that's why she didn't win, because we don't want a cheater. We don't want someone who got cheated on in the White House, right? You feel me? Clap it up. We deserve winners. We deserve winners in the White House. But anyway, she came out and said, maybe you should check out one of her older songs. So basically, there was a verse where Beyonce called out Monica Lewinsky about something about he came over and Monica Lewinsky my dress, and it was just like, Monica, I'm not saying that you're validated in your feelings, but I feel like you're feeling fishing right now, because you see a bunch of people putting their hands up about being attacked by Beyonce, and you remember a time way back when you were attacked by Beyonce, and yeah, you wrote an article in Vogue or whatever about it, and that was your 15 minutes of fame, and now you've seen another opportunity to get 15 minutes of fame, and you took it. Because since then, have you made any legal actions to have your name removed from it? Have you taken any positions with her publicist or her governing with her agencies to kind of get it removed or wiped out? No. It wasn't until something else major happened that forced you to bring it back up. And that seems kind of, it just seems weak. But ultimately, this is my final feelings on the whole ordeal. I'm not a fan of people trying to police music. I'm not a fan of people trying to police art in general, because art is subjective to your opinion. If someone from the Ku Klux Leonard Skinner and company, they clearly have ties to the Ku Klux Klan and everything else about them, and they've never, and Not that I know if they've never denounced, the Klan, but Free Bird is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard in my life, and I know how to play the guitar riff. And I know what I know about them. My point is, R. Kelly's I Believe I Can Fly is an amazing song. Do I have it on my iPod? Yes. Do I think R. Kelly deserves to be in jail? Yes. Are those two things something that I can separate on a mental level? Yes. So why the fuck isn't this the situation today? You need to be able to separate people's artwork from their real life. And I think that you have to get it right. This sort of falls into that territory, because ideally, if I feel this way about this, the rhetoric suggests that I should probably feel the same way about what's his name? R. Kelly should have left the country. Facts. But this makes me think about the Dave Chappelle thing, right? Because I think what Dave Chappelle is doing is reprehensible. But I also feel Dave Chappelle is past the comedic value of it. He's now bullying people using his art form. And there's a line that you can draw. So if Beyonce was using her songs for malice and gaining traction off of that malice, sure. But I commend her for being an upstanding citizen and bowing to the masses in this. Ultimately, Beyonce is not worried about this. Beyonce, we on her internet, right? That's what they say. So she ain't worried about this clapping. She good. I appreciate you, Beehive, for coming through and not torching my page.